Hello, everybody out there in DoD land. Let me turn off this music. Oh my gosh, my green screen is still going. Hey, everybody, thanks for hopping in with us. We're here doing the Dwelling of Duels history of artwork history panel. I'm messing everything up. We're here doing the artwork retrospective panel. We're here with a number of our DoD banner artists from over the years, where I'm joined by Nate Horsfall, aka Fox Dragon, who you know for doing like literally every banner 10 years ago and countless albums, artwork for albums and stuff like that. And you've seen his work working on visuals for countless VGM bands, Frank Lepaki and the Tiberian Suns, to name one. Super Madness, ooh, all kinds of really good stuff.
If you keep going through all my stuff, we're just going to use up the hour. So
That's Nate. You love him, you know him. I am joined by Sunfish, aka Rising Sunfish. She's been doing banner arts for I think since 2020. Is that right? We'll go over your first ones, but most recently, I believe you did Shopping Month.
I think I did Fresh after that.
Fresh Month, yes, which was
but
a
both...
farmer's market. Hence my confusion.
Yeah.
All right. Underneath of Sunfish, we've got Travis, aka Guy in Rubber Suit, aka the Rocket Knights. Travis, could you angle your camera down a little bit for us? Is that possible? The framing that I have on the stream is yes, perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. Travis, you most recently did I believe it was Yasunori Mitsuda month last year.
Yes.
And you also did next month's banner, which I'm not going to spoil here, but it's pretty nice.
I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah. Next to Travis in the bottom center here, we've got Darmok. You know her. If you were watching the stream last night, you saw her performing with Steel Samurai, and now you get to see her in a more casual, different form of art.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And then last up here, we've got Ninky, Ninky, you did Wild West Month most recently. That was a really awesome banner. Loved that one. Has done a few other ones for us, but yeah, Ninky and Sunfish are a little bit more new to the art scene. So I'm just very excited to get a mixture of everybody in here. And thank you all for joining us today. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Doing good.
So, Dwelling of Duels. I'm actually going to go ahead and do my screen share here and just kind of show off some recent banners that we had. We have a huge history of doing all of the banner art and stuff. It's always been a big part of how DoD operates. Is like, there is a big focus on getting the music, but a lot of times it's the artwork that people associate with the tracks for a long time, because the artwork gets tagged along with the songs, and people, when they go and download DoD stuff, they're gonna get the artwork attached to it for a long time, and it ends up kind of becoming an evocative album art kind of thing. So here's Ninky's Wild West Month from this year. Fantastic piece. I love what you did with like the controllers on the hip as the guns, the mouse here as a lasso. I've loved it. Loved this one so much.
I just noticed that. That's great.
And this one, I think Ninky's was as well. This was Wii Games. We have a nice tribute to Bohemian Rhapsody here. Wonderful. The nunchuck and the controller. It's gorgeous. Love that one. Here is one of Darmok's. This is from Crowdfunded Games Month. Darmok and I worked together in this is a real photograph in the center of a real piece of material that we ran a fog machine through. And
oh wow.
Darmok drafted up this awesome layout, because Darmok, you're also a graphic designer, so this is your bread and butter. Doing this kind of stuff here, and this turned out great. I love how perfectly it captured the Kickstarter and backer kit kind of setup there. I have another one of Darmok's. This is from Brevity Month this year. We, got to go fast, so you get all the fast characters. You get Scout, Tracer, and Sonic, of course, zooming along there. Love that piece. So yes, Sunfish, you mentioned doing Fresh Month. This was a wonderful piece that I just loved. The big ensemble cast of everybody. The theme was all games that hadn't been covered yet, so we had to have it be a lot of interesting stuff. And I'm sure just picking out which of these characters were from games that hadn't been submitted was a spreadsheet worthy task in its own right.
Yeah, pretty much. I know a lot of research went into this one, just like, and I did have like playlists of the soundtracks for a bunch of these games, and then it ended up that the actual entries weren't from any of the games that I featured.
Well, that's just how it happens.
But maybe next time,
Hope so. And you also did not this one. You did this Shining Month banner. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the first banner that you did for us.
I had done one before that,
Okay.
the Brevity Month with like the Splatoon.
Oh, right, Splatoon
characters.
for every month. Yeah, that was a fantastic one too. This was such a fun banner piece here with like all the instruments and everything. They're having such a great time. I love it. Now Travis, is Travis here? We lost Travis for a second there.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
let me add you. I see him.
There he is.
Gonna add him back to the scene. There we are. Travis, you did this awesome Mitsuda banner. What a wonderful banner for
Yeah,
Mitsuda month.
I think I called dibs on that.
Yeah, you're like, please give it to me.
I'm a huge fan of Mitsuda that I called dibs for it.
Yeah. And then you also did.
I just thought I would evoke like a scene from Chrono Trigger where they're having the campfire and then they try to include all those characters.
Totally. Such an awesome piece. I love the vibe. And then I think you also did Shimamura Month most recently, right? Or did you do Sakamoto? Wait, no, Shimamura. Where'd Shimamura go? How long ago was Shimamura? Oh my gosh, time is an illusion.
No, I didn't do
that
any
wasn't
of those.
you. Never mind. Sorry.
I didn't.
You did work on this one though. This Damon compilation
Nope.
banner. No.
Oh, he did. He's on the far left.
Yeah, this one's yours over here.
That's his. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Gosh, I'm in a panic right now. Yeah, this was the tribute banner, and Nate was also a part of this one. A tribute month for our good friend Damon 9623.
Center and right.
Really emotional month there, but yeah. So Nate did the piece on the right. Travis did the piece on the left here. Very fun stuff. And then Nate, what's your favorite banner?
Oh man, favorite banner. I mean,
I'll get your first banner up.
Well, the
Boss
first
versus
banner was
Hero.
Boss versus Hero. I don't know about favorite banner. Favorite banner probably Nintendo versus Sega or Capcom versus Konami. Those were both. And we were talking earlier about joking about how much time you have to do those. Actually, had ample time to do those.
Yeah.
That was a collaboration between me and my brother. And if you asked me which person did what, couldn't tell you because we just kept passing it back and forth over and over and over again.
A true collab.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then Nintendo versus Sega was meant to be a collab, but the person I was working with got really sick and couldn't do it, and so I was tasked with having to make way more Sega characters that I even knew existed because I filled my screen with Nintendo characters, and she was the Sega nerd, so she was going to handle that, and she got sick, and so I was like, all right, well. Turns out Sega doesn't have very many notable characters. Sorry.
There's not that many Sega characters.
Though there are a lot, but not enough to make like a Smash Brothers type game.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Who's this guy here? Is this
That's Golden Axe, dude.
Golden Axe?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some deep cuts in there. My favorite is the Crazy Taxi doing a loop-de-loop off of Sonic way back in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Way back there. I wish this was a little bit bigger. This is one of the smaller versions of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, you just keep zooming in on those. That's basically how they work.
Yeah, so as you can tell, a lot of history there, a lot of fun stuff. What do you guys think makes a Dwelling of Duels banner such an interesting assignment compared to something you might normally work on?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead, Nate. Let's circle around.
Because they're completely free and there's no direction whatsoever. Like you just, I mean, I don't know. I
I
don't think this.
disagree.
I don't think this has changed, but like nobody tells me what to do. I just have the theme, and then it's completely up to me and what I feel like doing. And then at the end of it, you just give it to them. There's no revisions. There's nothing. You're just like, here's what I did, and they're like, cool, thanks, and they upload it. And so it's entirely up to you. What style do you want to approach it in? What characters do you want to have in it? And it's just completely and utterly freeing to do anything you want.
Do I hear a dissenting opinion?
Oh, you disagree?
I definitely have a dissenting opinion, but maybe it's because.
Go ahead.
So at least for the graphic design kind of ones that I've done with Austin here, like he's had a vision and he's like, Darmok, can you make this happen? Like the website looking thing, like the Kickstarter theme one. He had a specific look in mind, so I was mostly just doing like follow the art direction and make it look cool, but like there was already an idea there. And I think there was one that I did with like it was a bulletin board with a bunch of
yes, for spin-offs.
So, yeah, that one was cute.
Oh, thanks. I think that was mostly Austin's idea too. So
I will agree. I think you're both right. There are times when it's like,
literally
here's the name of the theme.
Direction.
Well, Nate, that's because you come from a very privileged position of DoD history.
But earlier stuff I did, like the January 2018 Brevity Month. I think I have it pulled up here. I don't want to share my screen and mess up.
I can bring it up. I got it.
Okay.
Brevity 2018.
Remember who asked me to do it, but I think I ended up with thinking of the idea for that one and kind of running with it.
I think I asked you to do that. I don't think I gave you any ideas though.
Right. Okay. So you asked me and I was like, okay, let me think of something that's, very time sensitive in video games. And I came up with that idea.
Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can kind of attest to both sides as well, because there were some, like my first one was also Brevity Month, and I thought along the same lines of like, okay, it's 60 seconds, and the 1 second left thing from Splatoon like popped out in my head, and so I did one based on that. But the Shining Month, I didn't know anything about Shining Force, and so it was Austin's idea to have like the Shining Force protagonists as Jogurt. Is that what they're called?
Jogurt. That is their name.
Little hamster guys. So yeah, I ended up doing more research into this and kind of working in like that's an item from the game that's like powering the microphone.
Nice. Yeah, when in doubt, just give the characters instruments, I think.
Oh yeah, 100% all the
time. Yeah.
And I think you
had I never had any.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, I haven't really had any restrictions on my banners. I know I've had like notes for the July 2021 with the VG lead sheets. Like I submitted some early drafts, and then you had some notes on that one. But usually I'll just maybe come up with some thumbnails and get suggestions from you or whoever else and see which ideas you like more, and then usually I just run with it. But I like the freedom that we get from it, and also the challenge of the theme restrictions. Like that is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's one of the things that I try to make sure that if I have an idea, I'll pitch it, but I'm never like, I'm always open to any kind of idea, right? So I think that, and sometimes I don't have any idea. This kind of thing, I think we had some revisions, but Travis, I think the secret is if you don't send sketches, there's no revisions, right? Nate just sends a finished product. That's how to do it.
Maybe.
Actually, not.
Just gotta deal with it.
I think I've sometimes sent like a thumbnail or something, but I mean, it depends on what's being asked for. So if it's like a graphic design kind of thing, I draw a thumbnail, but it's better to just kind of sort of mock something up first, and then send it along.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have like maybe like 2 to 6 ideas that I have to at least thumbnail just so I can hone in on what I want to actually work on.
Totally. I totally get that. I think
I relate to. Oh, sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
think I relate to also like getting some guidance, but I think I think I've even passed by a couple of the themes that I was asked for because I think actually the first time I got asked to do a banner, I think I got asked to do point and click games. And I think I replied with, I've never played a point and click game in my life, so I don't think I'm the right person for this.
That's right.
And that's when I ended up with the Wii theme, which was the console I grew up on, like mainly Nintendo consoles. And that one, I think the themes I always thought were really interesting. Whenever I said yes, it's because the theme I could relate to. And then with that, I almost immediately always got an idea, I think, for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the ideas, because there's such freedom in these, and often the assignment itself you will often give suggestions, but I think I always weigh that up against the idea I'm having, and I'm like, oh, but like Freddie Mercury with a Wii remote would be so funny.
and totally, if you can envision it in your head, it's going to turn out so much better than me pitching an idea that I'm trying to make you visualize, right? You also did Max this month for us, right?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
And this was such a wonderful piece. I loved this one. And I think this was one where I was just like, hey, here's all these Sims games. And you're like, got it. No revisions.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw it as like a challenge to kind of try and get it to be one picture, but like these games are like vastly different because one's about like these creatures and Spore, and one is about a city, and then the other one's just the Sims, which everyone knows. But I didn't want to piggyback too much of just the Sims, so I'm still quite. I had a lot of fun with this one as well. Yeah.
I think it's amazing how all of you have like the way that you're able to drop in little details from other games or even from the same game in such a way that like you get the big picture of it when you see the when you see it as banner art on the site, right? But then so like, you know, at like the 1,000-foot view, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's a Sims person over here singing. That's awesome. Love it. But then, yeah, when you come in and you see the details, like the stuff in the background in the city, or the way that Sunfish's Shining Force piece had like the item from the game, stuff like that. I just think it's those little things that I think us in the community, as very detail-oriented, attention to detail-oriented nerds, collectively, I think we all appreciate it a ton. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I don't have anything, so if you're gonna make a point, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, a lot of my kind of creative impulse for doing these banners is like I have always thought of them as album art, and I didn't even know they were literally used as album art until we started talking about it. But that's sort of just been my approach to it. And like, I remember when I was really little, I was looking through my brother's CD collection, and he had Green Day's Dookie, which, if you've ever seen the art for that, it's just this like really busy, like just a million things going on, a bunch of different little characters, and it's like a cartoon kind of. And I think has just stuck with me as like a formative piece of album art, and so I feel like that's why I incorporate like a lot of busy elements and try and work in a lot of details, because I just remember like looking at that for a long time. And
Totally. And that's actually a great segue into my next question for all of you, which is kind of, how did you all get started doing art? Like, what would you call like your influences or just whatever got you into doing those kind of things? Sunfish, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been drawing as long as I can remember. I don't know that there was a particular influence. I would just kind of draw whatever I was into, and that's kind of just continued.
Okay. Travis, what about you?
Yeah, I've been drawing since I was little, basically. And then as I got older, like a young kid, I would copy comic books, Spawn, Spider-Man, and just draw my favorite characters. And then also getting into more video games, I would copy the Mortal Kombat artwork. I was a huge fan of John Tobias' style, so I tried to copy him and make up characters for all that, and then just kept on drawing.
Awesome. I love tracing comic book panels. It's so awesome. Dharma,
Oh yeah.
Similar to Travis, I started drawing when I was pretty little. And I think I drew a lot of Sonic back in the day. Just Sonic running, Sonic beating up Robotnik or Eggman, whatever we're calling him now. And then I got more into drawing other stuff, and I took art classes, and then I ended up majoring in illustration, but that turned into graphic design. So, yeah, they're abbreviated version.
I have seen many of the Sonic paintings around your house, so can attest.
We used to stay here. I used to, but
I know.
yeah,
I've seen them.
I did actually do video game paintings for a while, several years ago. I think that's when we met. Was at one of the BitGens.
That's true. Yeah, you were selling artwork at BitGen in Baltimore 10 years ago, probably.
Oh my God, I know.
But we didn't actually meet. That was the first time that I interacted with you, but we didn't meet in any capacity until I tried out for Steel Samurai.
And that was 10 years ago. So we probably yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story.
Awesome. How about Nike? What's your story?
Well, similar to I think everyone here, I've always been drawing, but it's actually really cool that one thing that immensely changed the entire trajectory of my art was me becoming a gargantuan fan of Team Fortress 2. Before I became a fan of TF2, I was drawing anime and only anime. I was also that age, and it was the manga boom in my part of Europe at the time, so it made sense. And then I saw these middle-aged mercenaries, and I was like, I want to draw this now. And that entirely changed my style. And I think if you look at my drawings now, you can still see it. Also, I still draw TF2 a lot, and I play it still. It's having a bit of a renaissance now, which is exciting.
It is. Yeah, that's how I found you. I remember, I think I was just looking for TF2 fan art, and I was like, hey, I really love this piece you did. You want to come draw something?
Yes, I remember getting scouted because I drew, I think, Medic and Heavy and Archimedes just hanging out in the spawn room, and it was really cool to get a job through that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Nate, I think that was actually at your suggestion, because we had been talking about bringing in banner arts, and you were like, man, just go look online for fan art.
I did.
And get them.
Nate,
same question for you.
I wanted you to, like, there's so many people out there that do fan art. Problem is you got to pay them. That's the problem.
Hey, we pay people.
I know you do. Now you do.
Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters out there.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so let's see my answer. I've been drawing forever. In the early days, there wasn't digital, so it was just pen and paper and pencils, and was heavily into all sorts of art classes. Just really gravitated towards it, and then as digital took over, it gravitated towards that, and then just kind of kept pursuing it, really. But I've always been super obsessed with both art and video games. So when tripping over this many years ago presented itself, I just kind of like aimed all of that energy in that direction, and it's been going strong ever since. Yeah,
that's the way to do it then.
Yeah.
And now, look at you all here on a panel. Did you ever think you'd be on a panel?
Made it.
No.
Well, DoD, has such a crazy history of doing some some themes that are like kind of easy, right? And then some that are kind of out there, a bit more like weird, right? Like it's one thing to have like Mario banner, but then it's another to we've been joking with all of the DoD Fantasy League. We get weird things like Silicon Graphics Workstation Month or random things like that. Trick or Treat was a weird one. That's like, how do you even write for that? Oops, all shit posts. Like what? And do you all think that the this is kind of, well, maybe I want to restate this. The way that DoD works, do you ever feel like it pushes you kind of like outside your comfort zone in any ways? Or are you trying to like experiment with new things as part of this?
I actually think if I look at the banners, especially the first one I did with with Queen, and that's definitely a type of drawing I had not done before, and it was just because I think the prompt itself just created like an idea that I was then like, okay, well, I have to draw that, and then part of the idea was to do it in like this me character type of style, which had like shell shading and and so I think just by being given a very specific premise, or like maybe even a theme that's kind of out there, you are like I do think you're like kind of forced to sit down and say, how do I depict that? And I think that's the fun of it. Absolutely. I mean, otherwise, like outside of this, I do comics, and I think comics also does that for me constantly, where I'm like, okay, this is the story. Now, how do I draw a motorcycle jumping off a cliff with the guy activating a parachute? It forces you to do things, and I think this is similar with the themes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely driven by novelty a lot of the time in my work, and so I felt the same way where I've been pushed to learn how to do new things or kind of had these self-imposed challenges, like the fresh month that I did. I think I was looking. I had the farmers market idea early on, and then I was looking at kind of like on Pinterest for inspiration, and there were a lot of these sort of like corporate vector isometric illustrations that I was seeing, and I was like, I've never done isometric before. I kind of want to give that a try, and I don't think I really recreated that sort of vibe, but I had a lot of fun just like creating the different elements and placing them, and it was almost like building or like playing with Legos a little bit, but
Yeah.
in Clip Studio Paint. So yeah, there was a ton of fun to put this together, and I misjudged the deadline and was a day late on it, but
It challenges your perspective drawing skills, right? By doing something like this, because everything's got to be, you got to fit that perspective, or else it can kind of throw it off, right? So yeah, if I ever am messing around in like graph paper and like trying to draw shapes and things like that, it's so easy to just like, whoops.
The thing with Clip Studio Paint has some really good perspective tools.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great segue, actually. I would love to hear what all of you use as your like preferred tech. There's a question in the chat here about like what your software or hardware situation is, or what, if anybody wants to talk about that.
I'm probably the most I don't want to say unique, but I have probably the most software that I work with for different, I don't know, it depends on the idea, like the MagWest Dreamcast month or whatever theme. I mean, I use like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. I'm trying to think what else I use.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I took photo of my own Dreamcast for that, so like I was using my phone camera. I have a desktop computer that I primarily work on. I don't remember the graphics card. I think it's a 2070. It's not that good anymore, but and I have a laptop that I sometimes work on, and I have a tablet that is too small of a screen for me to work on anymore. So I have to use it as like I can't like look at it. It's just or like, oh, I can like draw and then I'm looking at the screen. I also used, I'm trying to remember the software I used because it's been a minute. For the UX design stuff for the crowdfunded month, I used, I forgot the name of it. It's another Adobe software, but I'm mostly in the Adobe suite when I do my stuff.
They've got you in their clutches, right?
I've been using it for 20 plus years.
And
so
they're not that
yeah.
bad. They're pretty good too, right?
Yeah.
They do a lot.
I don't love them. I don't love their payment model. I preferred it before they were evil. So, but yeah.
All right. How about?
I think I'm.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I'm at least with my banners for Dwelling of Duels, I've been completely Adobe liberated, thankfully, because I two of them on my iPad in Clip Studio. No, sorry, Procreate. Sorry. And then I did the Wild West one on Clip Studio Paint, and it was pretty cool because it was the first one I did with my screen tablet.
Oh, nice.
Which,
that's huge. Wow.
It's a Huion. I upgraded from my broken Wacom, and I warmly recommend Huion to anyone because it is at least the quality of Wacom, but for half the price. It's very good. So yeah, that's what I used. Yeah.
Has now as a person who is not a visual artist, have screen-based tablets become very, very prominent and like easy to get? Because I remember like whenever I would have thought about drawing, it would have been like crazy expensive to try to have a whole entire monitor that I could draw on.
They're still expensive, but not as bad. I mean, Wacom hasn't changed their price like ever. They're like, cool, here's what we made, and you're gonna deal with it forever. I don't care about the market, whatever. Like Nikkei is saying, like there are not knockoff versions, but alternate versions. You can get those, and now you have laptops that allow you to draw on the screen, so you can get those too. But unfortunately, most of it's kind of stayed the same. It's kind of nuts. Like Wacom came out many years ago with their screen drawing software, and they've just never changed it.
Would you say the brush sensitivity is better on the Wacom than the other brands? Like the pressure point?
Who are you asking?
Any of you. Because I don't have.
Well, I'd have to defer to Nikkei on that because she has one that can actually be different.
Because I switched so recently, it's still very like noticeable for me. I would say that Huion at least is at least comparable. Like it is very much picking up a lot of. I do have a deluxe model of. Wait, I have the box right here. How big are you? It's called the Canvas 24, so not canvas but with an M. I paid €700 for it, so that's like what, $850 or something like that. Which for compared to Wacom, you'd pay like double at least for this size of a screen tablet. I definitely think it's like genuinely comparable. It's very easy to use. It's very the drivers are more friendly in my opinion because my Wacom drivers always gave me hell to get them to work. So that's not a big of a problem, at least for me. So I'm very happy.
I have an ability to draw on my laptop, but not. I still use a tablet for drawing on the screen, and I don't really have the space for screen annotations and all this stuff. But regardless, it's still something I've been able to do. I did for the longest time. A lot of people say like it's too expensive. It's not. You can get a bamboo tablet. It's like this big, $80. I did that for like 12 years. Every single banner that is on Dwelling of Duels until recently was done on that tiny little tablet. Also was done with a program either Photoshop or another program that I used called Paint Tool, which is like this really low end basic drawing program, but it does blending, and Photoshop doesn't do blending. So that was game over for me when I got introduced. Scared Sim introduced me to that program, and then I was.
Ooh.
That was it.
Shout out for the history buffs out
Shout out
there.
Scared Sim.
Yeah, my first two banners were Paint Tool Sci, and my computer at the time, and probably even still, couldn't run Photoshop without lagging horribly. So in order to get the movements to kind of match up, I had to use that one. But Clip Studio Paint has been what I've used since, and that's super robust, I think, especially for the price point. And then I'm still rocking the Intuos.
No, I got one of those.
So, and I'm on my, I think, second one of these because the little stinker over there kept chewing on him when she was a puppy. So, again, thank you for to the Patreon supporters, because at least some of that went towards getting a new tablet pen for me.
That's so funny.
I recently stumbled across this program called Paint Storm, and it's like Paint Tool Sci times 100. It's kind of like Painter, but every time I tried to use Painter, I had miserable experiences because Corel Painter is like RAM monster, even worse than Adobe, and the brush complexity. Have any of you used Painter before? You're nodding, Darmok.
I'm nodding because I've seen it in use, but I haven't had my hands on it yet.
It's amazing and also horrible because it lets you any option you want to have for brushes, you can do it. It allows you to break your own brush to the point that there's a button for resetting brushes. So after you've ruined it and you have no idea what's even happening anymore, you can be like, okay, we got to fix this. But you can combine, a paintbrush with an airbrush, with an acrylic paint, with oil and whatever, and to the point where it no longer makes anything that makes sense. And you just reset that. And also once you've done that, your RAM is just like, why have you done this to me?
Yeah.
And so Paint Storm, by comparison, it gives you the similar kind of options, but way less to deal with. So I've been using that now. It's been awesome. It's like $40 too. Very cheap.
Travis, what's your setup like these days?
I primarily use Clip Studio Paint for my painting and drawing, but I have used Photoshop before, and I also have this XP pen tablet that's a really nice tablet. But yeah, that's my primary setup, at least, especially for the banners.
Awesome. Wow, it's crazy to I know nothing about drawing or art or anything like that. I still use paint.net whenever I need to edit anything because it works for what I need. And so I feel this is how people feel when we talk about Dwelling of Duels DAWs for recording software. We're recording music. It's like, man. But I am it's awesome to hear. It's awesome to be on the other side of that, right? Yeah. There's another question in the chat here from Tony. No, sorry. Shoot, I just saw it. Where was it? Oh, what's a banner? What's a theme or a month that you would absolutely love to do a banner for?
Sonic.
Sonic, okay.
Well, I would say Star Fox month, but I've already kind of done that for somebody else, so I don't know what I would do. I've done too many things, so it's hard to completely. Maybe F-Zero month. Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Hey, F-Zero is hot right now.
I know. I haven't played the new game because I don't have a Nintendo Online subscription, but
I kind of already done mine, Yasunori Mitsuda, so I don't think I have any must-want to do's now.
Well, you gotta have a second place.
Yeah, I'll have to think of that.
I think mine has to be TF2. I mean, if there's a TF2 month, please make me the first one, please.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think that was in general.
I think there's too much competition among the stream for me to say Ace Attorney, so I'll say Fire Emblem.
We should all
but,
collab if there's an Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
Is that my second choice? Yeah.
That would be cool.
Write that down real quick.
The other I would love to do, and I don't even know if this is like on the table, but I had the idea of like Flash games. I think would be fun, like browser based. So
Like just
and I
everything
feel like that would
from
unlock a lot of
Neopets.com.
memories.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Flash
This is
games was...
my it's all my secret evil plot to get somebody to do a Meepit Juice Break cover.
Ooh.
Tarmac, you know exactly what game that is because your partner was obsessed with that game, Meepit Juice Break, and the music from it. I don't know if he's there, but I know that he loved that music. But I had actually suggested a Flash month a very long time ago on our DoD forums. I had suggested it as well, but this was before Flash died. So the only problem is like now we'd have to figure out some way for people to like explore these games because Flash games are almost like a lost media at this point. I think.
Yeah.
You can emulate the ones that have been preserved, but there was just so many of them that some of them are inevitably gone and lost.
Yeah.
But
And I don't think a lot of them had original music either.
That's a good question too. Like, did they, or were they using like library music or what?
Right.
That's kind of a gray area, which we sort of get to on DoD sometimes because not every video game that was made, once you got to the point where you could just put in like a rendered audio file, like PS1 generation forward, not all of those songs were written for those games. Some of them just came from music libraries, but they've been associated with it for so long. So interesting little...
and Tommy Tallarico wrote all of them.
That's true.
Tommy Tallarico month. It's just free month.
Great stuff in here. Someone asked, are the DoD banner artists on a rotation? Kind of. It's a very big rotation. It mostly, as far as like the administration standpoint, there is thought that goes into like who would fit whatever the specific theme is, but not really a specific rotation. Now that we have like, when it used to be like in Nate's time, when it was just Nate doing everything, right? It was just because Nate was the only one willing to do it for free. Now that there's like actual money that goes with it, it's more of like, all right, well, I won't feel bad asking these
owed
people.
me like $4,000, I think, at this point.
You got to take that up with Hackstock, I think, because before my time. Hackstock, Strifing, Crimson's in the chat.
Yeah.
Paragon.
whatever it is that you pay people per month, I think I can probably multiply that times like 40.
I think you're right. I think you get the Lifetime Achievement Award, Nate, and the lifetime supply of Chef Boyardee that comes with it.
Wow.
Here's an interesting question that from John Mellencamp in the chat. Is there any banners that you've done that you would want to do over if you had the chance, or that maybe you felt dissatisfied with?
I have one. It was April 2019. It was like an extreme rush job, and I don't know.
Will you be upset if I bring it up?
No, it's fine. It's part of history now. Like
April 2019 free?
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
It's just I didn't have enough time to actually like.
A little rushed. That's my fault.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's how it is. But
I probably asked you to do this like 12 hours before the deadline.
Yeah, probably.
You did.
Yeah.
But, so I managed to get like the face okay, but like none of the other stuff is the way I would have ever done it. And
look at that Snapple man. Look at that beautiful man.
So I would redo that one. Absolutely. I don't even know if I have the art files anymore for that though. I think it was on the Well, I think my MacBook that I used to use died It died of swollen battery or something. I don't know, but yeah, rip.
I think I would redo the 2020 October one.
Nate, you have to have one that you want to at least.
I have
one that
so
you wanna
many. I mean, most of the ones that I
Most
hate
of
the
them.
most were no. The ones that I hate the most were the ones that I had either no idea what to do because I didn't know the source material, because I when I was given a task, I couldn't be like, well, find somebody else. I don't know how to do that one. I just be like, well, I guess I'll figure this out. LucasArts takes the cake, and also level 3. LucasArts deserved way better than what I could do at the time. And yeah, like I literally took somebody else's thing and I credited them. You see that? I credited them.
Oh, character layout. Wow.
Because it deserves it. People, I wasn't a LucasArts person, but I respect a lot of what they did, and and they deserve a better treatment than what I would have done. And so this person already did it. And then level 3, where I did actually make it, level 3 was like, it was a weird one. A Josh Moonanite G specifically requested it be this, and it doesn't make any sense. It like nothing about it makes sense. It's badly drawn. It was done in like an hour or something like that. It's just awful. It's just truly awful. But that was kind of the point. Like it was almost like a shit post in that way.
I don't even know what's happening in this.
You know, all of the, so it's Little Nemo from level 3. So level 3 on Little Nemo's Dream Master, and then for some reason he wanted Ryan 8-bit in a ghostly form, like looming over
supposed
it.
to be?
That's Ryan 8-bit.
I see the mustache now.
Yeah. And that's what he wanted. He wanted. Oh, he also wanted the frog like eating Little Nemo. You know, you have to ask Josh what he was thinking.
Okay.
He doesn't do drugs, so you can't really blame that on drugs. And then like way back when there was some joke months, and there was these banners that were like joke month, and I'd ask people, hey, what are your suggestions? And they would just give the most like R or X rated disgusting, not that, some other ones that I don't even know where they're way back earlier, but I couldn't do them.
Yeah.
Their suggestions were like, oh, have so and so like taking a dump on so and so's head, and I'm like, I'm not gonna draw that, you guys.
That's how the internet was.
I mean, that was my tame version, and this is me doing a playoff of Nintendo Power comic. Anyone even remotely recognizes what that is? If you can, congratulations, it's a deep cut. But most of the, like, I asked for suggestions, and they were just, I mean, if anybody's seen the Temp Sound Solutions, like really aggressively ugly Mario and Luigi, and that's all I'm going to say about that one.
Oh yeah,
they wanted more of that, and I'm like, I'm not going to do it.
We need more poop.
So anyway, yeah.
Now, Nate, that's a great segue to another question here that's in the chat, which is the opposite of what the dream banner would be. I think the question is, what would be your please never? I never want to draw this. We're gonna omit anything that's like just generally disgusting, right? Because we could probably all assume that nobody really wants to draw those kind of things. But like, what's something that is just like it would bring you no joy?
Call of Duty. I hate that franchise. I hate everything it's done to the game.
Great.
I hate everything about it. Never ask me to do that.
Oh man, that's a great answer. It's a tough one. Tough question.
I think anything with a very passionate cult following that I don't know anything about, I'd be terrified. Like, I think I'm thinking, like, I don't know why this came up, but things like Earthbound or like Stardew Valley or something, like, I know people that go deep with that, and I respect that. As someone who's been a fan of TF2 for over 10 years, I respect it. I think I'd be scared to not do it justice to the point where it would completely block my creativity, I think.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
I do want to say, if you ever get asked to do something like that, it's pretty cool to dive into a franchise that you have no attachment to, because then you end up appreciating it in the end. You're like, oh, I want to do justice to this. And I'm going to dig deep and see why people love it. And then you're like, oh, all of these things. And I can't count the number of things, both banners or album artwork or videos in particular, that I've had no attachment to and then got into and then was like, wow, I see why you love it, and now I'm a fan of it. So it could expand you.
Fair points. Yeah.
I think that kind of also applies similarly with doing the game covers, right? Getting to hear like the soundtracks for these games, and you get to view like a brief, a kind of an overview of that same kind of thing. Now, doing artwork and stuff, I think you probably need to go more deep to really satisfy those cult followings. But I do think that is a great answer.
Hmm.
Anybody else got one that they would not want to do? Don't even ask.
No rules.
Guess not. That's okay.
Darmok and Sunfish and Travis are like, no, I'll do anything. Give it to me.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's one way to do it. Like, just to be ready to do anything and
Look, I would do Call of Duty if you gave it to me, but I would hate it, is all I'm saying. I know. I've worked on plenty of things that I've hated. It's okay.
Glacier 9 also calls out something here in chat that specifically they're talking about Thief, the game series Thief. A month that would be impossible for both artists and contestants because the game itself is very drab, and the soundtrack is very spacious, right? So that would be something that like we would never do as a DoD theme. But like it kind of brings up some interesting questions of like where, like Nate, you mentioned Call of Duty. Do you think like Assassin's Creed kind of falls into that same realm of like it has like it's turned into something different than what it was at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, like it's the thing of Assassin's Creed didn't negatively impact the video game industry in such a way that every single game in existence that was in that genre decided to copy Assassin's Creed. But but certainly like they definitely have gone off and become other weird things for sure. I don't hate that franchise by any means. I have no interest in it necessarily, but like other games have definitely taken from it in positive ways. I don't know if the music in that game, some people really like it. So, you know, there's probably something worth covering in there. You could probably do an Assassin's Creed month.
That's a good way to put it. Well, we are just about out of time here, so I want to thank you all again for joining us. And I just want to go around and everyone can share where people can find you on social media and things like that, Instagram, etc. We'll start with Nate.
Lightningarts.com. That's like a lightning bolt arts.com is probably the easiest way to do it. However, social media, same thing. Twitter @lightningarts until Musk burns it all to the ground. And I have an Instagram. I think it's Nate Horsfall on there because I think Lightning Arts was taken. I don't remember. I don't use Instagram either. Social media is hard these days because everybody's stealing everything from us. So I haven't quite decided where to put anything anymore. It's kind of rough. But
oh man, Nate, I didn't even.
We don't need to.
Toes.
We don't. We'll be there. We'll be here for another 4 hours. So
yeah, you're right.
It's just not. Appreciate everybody here supporting arts. Please do continue to support arts. As you heard by everybody, we've all been doing this our whole lives. We would like to continue to do it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, Sunfish, where can people find you?
Like echoing some of the sentiments about Twitter, but I'm at Sunfish Art on Twitter. I'm kind of holding up on Tumblr. That's sort of weirdly enough, the last bastion of kind of humanity in social media, but I'm Rising Sunfish on there, and on most of the other platforms as well. It'll be Rising Sunfish, so you'll find me.
All right, Travis, where can people find you? Did we lose Travis?
I'm on.
No, I got him.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Travis Bolek, Bolek. So you can check me out there.
Did we lose our hosts?
Oh.
What happened?
Somebody just went off. What happened? Oh, Oh, we can sort of hear you. You're very quiet.
What?
There you go. Now you're back.
Okay. Sorry, I lost my audio on Travis, but I think Travis. I don't know if anybody else could hear him there. Okay, Darmok, where can people find you?
I don't know. I mostly put music up these days. I haven't done the post artwork stuff in a while, but you can follow me, I guess, on Instagram, Darmok Music, DARMOCK Music. I am on Twitter, kind of, sort of, but mostly just to promo my band and stuff. I'm on Blue Sky. You can find me with my normal Darmok handle. Yeah, and I guess maybe follow my band Steel Samurai, and you'll see me do more things.
Heck yeah, see that Steel Samurai set from yesterday if you didn't get to see it. And Ninka, how about you?
I mean, because my name is kind of complicated even in Europe, I actually use the handle 9key arts. So just 9key. It's because I had a friend who couldn't pronounce my name for a long time, so it became a bit of a joke. And also my full name just as a website, but if you find any of my socials, you'll find the link to the other ones, so it should be pretty easy. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. If there's anybody out there who's watching this and you want to do some DoD banner art, let us know, because we are always looking for some more talent to add to these pools. But we cannot overstate the amount of talent that is in this room right now. And I want to thank you all for all the contributions you've done to the site over the years.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thank
Stay
you.
tuned. We're
Thanks.
going to